What's up, guys? For the Mythco Mafia, as always, I'm Boss Hog.
And I'm CB.
Today, we are going to sit and we are going to talk a little bit about war, and in particular, World War II. We're going to talk about, in between each country, what we think and why is our favorite firearm from that country, primary and a secondary.
So basically, like uh,
Basically, load out.
rifle and pistol, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
Well, I guess for Americans, gotta go with the M1 Garand for the rifle and the 1911 for the pistol. It's just very innovative for the time. Fired a big Ot 6 cartridge, had a lot of stopping power, had a lot of range. Was just a good all around rifle. And the 1911. I mean, you kind of have to go for the 1911. That's just one of those timeless firearms.
Oh yeah, but I got to change mine. M1 Grand is not my first choice. My first choice,
Really, that surprises me that you didn't pick a Garand.
Grands are great, but there's a lot of things that held our troops back with the Grand. There's a lot of
I
things,
mean, limited mag capacity,
limited
pretty
mag
much.
capacity.
But still, semis.
If you weren't properly trained in using one, it could hurt the user.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whenever the rifle grenades came around,
Oh yeah,
that
that
was
too.
definitely
Yeah.
a thing. I'm sure there are pictures floating around somewhere of dudes that forgot to put the blank in whenever they went to shoot a rifle grenade, and it's ugly.
Oh yeah. So my choice, and it's a little bit of a left field choice. I gotta say, I gotta say Thompson. Thompson is my first choice, just because it came in towards the end of World War One, and it was deemed the trench broom and just rate of firepower. And it's just, I've heard a lot of accounts from World War Two vets saying that when they got the Thompson in their hand, it was just such a great gun. It functioned, and every gun has its flaws.
Oh yeah,
I mean, a Thompson, a lot of people they did jam frequently,
yeah.
but at the rate of fire they had, it was almost like you know, you can take the good with the bad. A little bad.
Yeah, there's enough there that you can do trade offs, and it's
Yeah. And pistol wise, I'm still the same as you. I'm with 1911. Gotta say, love a 1911. I own a 1911, and I think it's proved itself to be a good firearm.
yeah, and even with like with the break-in periods with them, I mean, even with the one you have, we haven't had that many jams with it.
No, and that's like a 1911 thing. You have a big hunk of metal that that basically a factory threw it together. I mean, it's gonna jam. You have a big hunk of metal that a lot of moving parts. So that's our picks for the U.S.
And just want to jump straight to Russia.
Yeah, we can go to Russia.
I got to go with probably the SBT 40 for the rifle because that was a big leap in technology, but it still used the 54R cartridge, so it still had a lot of range, a lot of power. And even though it didn't see a whole lot of use, it was still just really big jump from just your standard bolt actions that were what 18 something, and then they refurbed them in 38 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And as far as pistols, I'm kind of torn, but I think I got to go with the Tokarev just because it's a semi.
Well, see, and that's the whole thing with a lot of these other countries in World War II. A lot of them they just refurbed their old guns, and
Well, a lot of that at the beginning.
yeah, a lot of that at the
I
beginning
think we were the only ones that started the war
with
uh, with a
and
semi that was mass issued.
yeah. So Russia, same with my U.S. picks. I got to go PPSH.
Oh yeah, that's
I have to go PPSH because that's a good, like, if you're going to pit it like you have the Thompson, PPSH is a good thing to pit against it
yeah.
because it is,
Which I think the fire rate on that was significantly higher than the Thompson.
yeah.
And
Now, when the Thompson first came out, when they first did the 1921s, the Chicago typewriters, and even in the testing phase, they had like an insane rate of fire.
yeah, and then they
But they,
knocked it
yeah,
down
they knocked it down.
for controllability. The PPSH never did that.
No, they just gave it all it had,
Yeah,
and it had a lot.
but I have heard that what was it, 71 round mags for the PPSH. I think they only issued them with one of those because they had fitment issues. The other drums, so they were handed out with the 35 round stick mags because
Yeah.
they didn't have the fitment issues that the drums did.
And pistol wise, I'm right there with you. You know,
I mean,
it's iconic. It's
yeah, the Nagant revolver's cool, but again,
in a firefight
it's
situation,
yeah, you
limited
you want
capacity.
something that you can send rounds out fast with.
Yeah, yeah. All right, where are we off to next?
You want to do Italy,
All right, we can go Italy.
which I don't know a whole lot of Italian firearms.
Carcano's my
Yeah,
rifle.
I gotta go
Carcano's
with the
my
Carcano.
rifle. They're not for what they had. They were okay. They're not the greatest. If you
Yeah,
find one now, the bore's gone.
probably shot out of it.
And if you are fortunate enough to find one for under $300, the bore is not shot out. You should buy it.
Yeah, but as far as like the pistols, I think I gotta go with the Beretta.
Yep.
I can't remember what the model is. I know
Yeah,
they had a
they
Beretta.
did have a Beretta.
I think that wasn't in 9, was it? That was a 32.
Yep.
But yeah, I gotta go with Beretta
Yep.
because really that's the only issued Italian pistol I'm aware of.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Where to now?
Uh,
What?
uh, might as well get Great Britain out of the way. I think as far as like long weapons, I gotta go with the Bren. It's just a big, beefy machine gun. It is hampered by a 30 round magazine, but there were guys that got good enough they could do mag changes really quick.
Yeah.
And as far as pistols, I mean, I got to go with a Webley.
Yep.
It was a what 6 shot
Revolver.
455, I think.
Yep. The 454, I thought. 454 Webley.
I can't remember if it was a 55 or 54, but it's
Still, they're nice guns.
yeah,
They're really nice. And Russia, we took the stance on no revolver, but Great Britain, we're taking like it's a decent sized cartridge.
yeah,
You're getting a decent sized cartridge, and like those guys that were issued that, they were trained well enough in it that they could reload them quick enough.
yeah. And I think most of the ones that were issued the Webley were officers, so it was like a last line of defense kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think some of them might have actually have had like lend lease 1911s. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Some did have 1911s.
But yeah, the Webley, just because it's British, it's very well known,
Hmm.
and it's from everything I've ever heard of them. Their revolvers are very reliable.
Yeah.
It's just pretty much a good all around choice.
All right.
And
I got to go with the Bren. Same as you. I got to go Bren. Let's, all right. Now where are we off to? You want to go to Germany?
yeah, we can do Germany.
Let's just get Germany out of the way. So I got to say, my uh, pick for Germany, 100%. I have to say, Car 98. I'm gonna go Car 98.
Yeah, that's a good rifle.
I like Car 98s,
That's another one of those pretty much an updated version of an old model.
but it was they they updated it. They gave it like good things. They
Yeah,
did. They give it.
I think they shortened it up a little bit from
Yeah.
the original Gewehr 98.
Yep. And then pistol, gotta go Walther.
Yep. I
I
mean,
love Lugers.
yep.
Lugers look cool, but there's too many. It's a complete different mechanism. There's like in a firefight, if there's a problem with your gun and you have a Luger, you're not going to have time to start stripping it down to fix it. Whereas a Walther, at least you have a fighting chance. You're
Yeah,
going to have a fighting chance because it works much like most pistols. Whereas the Luger, it's like a one trick
yeah,
pony.
it's a completely different animal.
Yeah,
Which I got to go with the Walther. Luger's cool. Kind of the only thing that's like throwing me off is I think it has an exposed trigger bar.
Luger.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does.
and that's unsafe as I'm sure there are a lot of reports of that thing going off in holsters and with one episode in Band of Brothers touches on that. Guy had it in his pocket, it went off and killed him. And then for like big weapons, I gotta go with the MG42. It's
A lot of
it's
firepower.
roller delayed 8 mil Mauser. That thing is just
It's a beast.
it's engineered hatred. That's the only thing it
Oh yeah.
is. And it's fast, big round, lot of range, lot of power, and you can keep dudes down all day with that
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Especially with like quick change barrels.
Yep.
If you have an assistant gunner that knows exactly what he's doing, you can run that thing all day.
Which takes us to Japan.
Ooh. I mean Japan, a lot of the like well known like machine guns had really glaring issues with them. So I gotta go with the Arasaka,
Yeah, that's where my head's
like the
at.
Type 98, Type 99.
Yep.
Gotta go with that. I think they were what 8 mil or seven? No, 7 mil.
Yeah,
7,
7.8 Jap,
and then there were some that were 6.5.
6.5 Jap. And then if you were one of the lucky fortunate ones, just imagine being a nice Japanese soldier trying to take down a Corsair with an Arisaka.
Yeah, they did have the aircraft
Yeah,
sights on
flip
them.
up aircraft sights.
But as far as pistols, I mean, I really only know of one, and I don't want to pick it because it's got the same problem as the Luger.
Yeah,
But
you don't
it's
want to
the
go
Nambu.
Nambu. You don't want to go Nambu.
So that's really the only one I know of. So I'm kind of stuck with it.
I mean, you know what? I'll be different. I'm not picking a gun as a secondary. I'm gonna go samurai sword because there was a lot of troops still carrying samurai
Yeah, there
swords.
were. I think a lot of the officers were still from that like samurai,
The the
like
dynasty.
caste system.
Yes, they were. Yeah, and and I would rather have that than a gun that could potentially kill me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And there's myths out there and reports that they were so skilled with their katanas that some of the American soldiers, when their barrels were glowing red, they could cut the
Yeah,
barrel.
I did remember hearing that. All right, so that leaves what does that leave? The U.S., Britain, Russia, Germany, Italy, Japan. I want to say the Turks were part of that, but
They were, but a lot of your smaller countries, they just kind of like basically they leased guns from
Yeah,
other countries. I know there's like Carcanos, especially, is one that you'll find Carcanos from.
yeah, pretty much
Yeah,
everywhere.
Turkish Carcanos you'll find.
I mean, I guess we could go with France. I think I gotta for France. I think I gotta go with. I think it was issued at this point the Mass 56. I think that was the one.
Yep.
I don't remember what they were chambered in, but it was a bolt action fed off stripper clips. Can't remember if it was a 5 or a 10 round mag. I want to say it was 5. They they might have actually been straight pull or a form of straight pull.
Yeah. And I do have to give a shout out to an honorable mention from the U.S. The trench shotgun.
Oh yeah,
The
that's
trench shotgun. Hitler hated the trench shotgun. Said it was a war crime.
yeah. The shotguns are almost in a class of their own.
Yeah, because like we were even still using a form of that shotgun in Vietnam.
Oh yeah, we were using. We were using Ithaca 37s, and there was another one. I almost want to say 870, but I'm not 100% sure if that was issued. That might have been like they sent them over from stateside to specific guys.
And I mean, slam fire, you can't beat it.
Oh yeah, especially when you got what 8 rounds of buckshot that you can send out as fast as you can run that thing. That's absolutely devastating in
Yep,
close range.
yep. Just hold the trigger in and keep pumping. All right. Well, that about sums it up.
Yeah, that's about all the countries that I can.
That about sums it up. As always, I am Boss Hog.
I'm CB.